Okay, it's 7:30. We need to begin we'll begin with a pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes from the meeting May 18th, 2023.
Moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Are there any additions, corrections, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Moving on to citizens' comments, and first up is Jim Orlando, and not Dan.
No, Dane's setting up for the Taste of Syracuse, so
Okay.
I did the car show tonight.
So you're going to come up to the mic, introduce yourself to us, Jim, and
I'm Jim Orlando. I own the Beeville Diner, and I'd like to resurrect the Beeville Diner car show. We've asked for, on the application, the grass area, kind of for overflow it, if it grows to what it did, 5 or 6 years ago, whenever we did it, 3 or 4 years ago. And we asked for what I call, which Chuck had to come out and said, what the hell do you mean with the inside L? But I call it the inside L and the outside L. The inside L we like. The main reason it's a car show. People are walking there looking at cars. There was kids there tonight and strollers and bikes, and they look at the cars that are parked there. So I used to put up signs, my Beeville Diner signs here and here, so only we move them, let the hot rods in, or classic cars in, I should say. It's not all hot rods. And it was safe, and the show was around the island. I'd like to be able to park on the grass if the grass is hard. When we did it 3 or 4 years ago, it was all new. It was soft and wasn't ready for cars. But to me, it's for overflow. We do have these parking spots down here with the Dollar Tree and the Beeville Diner. We share all the parking lot. So we would use that before I went up on the grass, but I wanted, if it grows back, tonight we had 30 cars. Last week we had 30 cars. There's 55 parking spots here. There's 70 on the outside L. And I get that these aren't as convenient to the restaurants over here as these are or these are. So it's a convenience thing for 4 hours for 3 months for them. But out of the 70 spots, I walked around last week, I walked around just before I came here, there's 28 cars parked out of the 70. So there's 42 spots available in the outside L. And I only had 30 cars, and there's 55 spots here. So there were a few cars here, but that's in my 28 count.
is there anybody except the cars being exhibited to park in your area?
Is there, like,
Okay. In that inside L's, outside L's, whatever they are.
I like that.
Is it just the cars with the hoods up and the guys in their lawn chairs? Or?
That's what I want, yes. That's what it would be. And there's some motorcycles. There was a couple motorcycles there tonight. And the people that look at the cars walk down the center of the street. I do with my microphone. If you want to come, I say a lot of things because I love the microphone, but I got a nice wireless one. And I did it last time. I went over and talked to the other business owners. I'm not going to say any names. And, I got, hit. I didn't get the response I wanted. I welcome them to come out and be a part of the car show.
Have you approached the new business?
I have. I have. I knew my application wasn't done. I need to come in front of the board, so I'm not having a car show. Just in case anyone wants to know. But, I will, and they're more than welcome to come over. Baker's Real Estate, the guy that cuts hair, most of the guys out there look like me, they get their hair cut at a barber shop, it's like, come on out. I raffle off stuff every week. It's mostly Beeville Diner gift cards, but I would do Sammy Malone or San Miguel's or the barber or Baker Real Estate. Anyone who wants to come over and raffle off. Dollar Tree gave me 2 buckets with sponges and car stuff in it tonight. We raffle those off. We do a 50-50 every week. We did the Canwood Senior Center. What's that?
I don't want to know about gambling.
No, it's a 50-50 that we collect money for a local charity. And there's no...
Do you know if WT's, I don't know when their food truck is?
The what?
They have that food truck WT does out in back of their...
I don't know.
I don't know either.
don't think there's a rhyme or reason to when they have it.
Okay, well, then that'd be hard to figure anything out.
Yeah. And again, you know, it's like, most people know I've been around for a while. You know, I was there when we did the Village Square, and I helped get, first with Marco from Wide Waters, getting through there. They didn't buy Dollar Tree. Then it was Dave Morocco, and we agreed on parking, Dave and I, and getting the driveway out there. We did all the islands. You know, we spent a lot of money doing it, and, you know, we paid for half of it. So I'm in support of it. You know, I'm not here to argue with anybody, whether it's them or these people. You know, it's inconvenient for 4 hours. Their customers got to walk from here to here. I get it. You know, but be a part of it.
So
My
you're saying
concern is
for-
if you grow to 75 cars, 100 cars, if it's
Three Rivers is 300 cars,
Well,
you know, and they all line up in lines and people walk up and down and they all park on grass, you know. Will mine ever get there again? Probably not, you know, it's like
When you say 4 hours, what 4 hours of,
4 to 8. Don't read my sign out in front of the Beagle Diner because that was the old one. You know, I think that one
I just
says
drove by
something
it.
else. Yeah,
I didn't
okay.
see it.
Yeah, there's a new one being made
okay, good.
and new T-shirts too. But it's 4 to 8 is what we
Okay.
are advertising, and that's the sign that we have from the police department say no parking from 4 to 8. And those are the ones that Dick allowed us to put up on this side over here, you know. So that's what we've been doing unofficially for the last 2 weeks.
Chuck, would we consider giving them access to the Demio Street, like the paver part of it?
We could
Is there-
do that.
Do you see
yeah.
any issue?
No, as long as they block it off, and we can put some cones down there so they don't, people continue to drive down the trail there. But if they, and they've used that in the past for their,
We had, when it got big, we
yeah,
used that.
that'd be fine.
Yeah.
If they,
Do you have official signs from the police department?
No. Was that the right answer?
I don't know. He's over there.
Yeah, I mean, you gave it to me last time when we were having issues out there.
Exactly. I had kind of heard through the grapevine today that he might still have been in possession of signs from years ago, so I knew he was coming tonight and he was speaking to the board, so I wasn't too concerned about it.
Yeah. I might have a few cones of Chuck's too, so I don't know how I end up with them, but I do.
That solves our larceny investment.
But yeah, that's just it. It's just a fun event, you know. We don't sell any beer. I don't raise any money. I give stuff away. It's just a fun family thing that car shows like, the guys like, and I welcome any business that's around it to come out and be a part of it, you know.
Could you tell us,
I'll give them the microphone if they want to.
it started 2 weeks ago and when it ends?
I forget whatever you put in the application, but I think it ends in August, you know, kind of the summer season, you know, June, July, August. So 14 weeks.
And just to be clear, any car that's parked in that inner L before 4 o'clock, it's not gonna be towed or otherwise.
No, and they'll always be there, you know, because there's some people that just
Right.
do it out of spite,
Yeah,
you know, so I get it.
yeah.
You know, people, some of these cars are 6-figure cars, you know, they don't want, you know, Jim Orlando's white pickup truck next to their car where Jim doesn't care because he's old and it's hard to get in his truck and he door dings their classic car, sorry. You know, so they really don't want the cars around it, but I know people are gonna do it, and I'm not here to fight with anybody. I haven't. I've been here a long time in the village and I don't fight with anybody. I don't start parking wars, you know, it's like Angry Garlic is next to 2 of my buildings, the new smokehouse. I told Jeff, go park in my insurance company building, you know, after 5 o'clock, you know, I don't care, I'm not here to fight. I don't, never complain about the island events and it fills up the diner parking lot, you know, it's like, it's great for the village. I love the village, I love the events, and I'm just saying they all don't have to be beer and concerts, you know. I love the farmer's market, you know. I hope that comes back too. And they don't know to park, you know, because the vendors are here in the farmer's market. They don't know to park here. They all park at the diner, which is okay. You know, so I don't want to start parking wars. I don't want to start fights with any businesses around like last time, you know, but I would like to have a car show.
Okay.
Does anybody have any other concerns? I mean,
I don't, other than, I think cars on the grass should be a last resort.
That's fine, and I'm willing to give a deposit or,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I
he
guess,
just gave up $5,000, so I'm not gonna say I wanna pay whatever it's gonna cost to fix it, you know? Because it may be $5,000.
I'd give it up, yeah.
But, you know, obviously, if I damaged anything, I would be more than willing to pay for it, and if an issue happened, and I agree with you, it is last resort, because I don't want to deal with it either.
yeah.
I'm probably the one that's got to carry the picnic tables and line up cars there. So it'd only be if it grows and it needs spots, so I'm not going in other places, you know?
Right.
Maybe you can put that deposit out with Chuck as far as how much, because he'll know what it will take to fix any damage. And
Do not say 5,000.
Did I miss how you're?
That's what I'm about over here.
What's that?
Did I miss how you're gonna reserve these spots if they're already filled? Did I miss that?
Well, yeah, when I go out there at afternoon is when we put up the signs that say 4 to 8 on them. And I set up my red tent sometime after lunch, you know, so people know, oh yeah, it's a car show tonight, you know. And most people, when they leave work, you know, they don't come out and move the cars. I did see some people over here today, they had their cars over here, and they actually came out and moved their cars before 4 o'clock, which was greatly appreciated, you know. But I know there's going to be a group over here that aren't going to move just because they don't want it, you know. I get it. You know, but I'm not calling a tow truck, I'm not going to start a fight, you know.
want to get along.
Yeah, yeah. And I welcome them to be a part of it, you know. It's like, all these people go out and eat, you know. It's like, they get haircuts.
If I were there, I'd be handing out 2-for-1 deals.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Or free
Or
appetizer,
$25
something.
I hand out $25 gift cards, you know, and it's all by ticket, you know. It's like, bring over some gift cards if you don't want to come over. You know, I told one of the people over there once, you know, set up over there, sell food. I don't set up anything but my cordless microphone, which I love, and music, you know, so I don't sell anything out there. You know, if people go to the diner, great. If they walk over there, great. You know, it's like, if they walk up the, wherever, Pizza Man, great, you know.
So what are you doing in the cordless mic?
I harass people mostly. I say the cars are nice.
Car people and
Yeah.
sings feelings.
Well, last week I couldn't get my stereo to work, so I said, tonight's gonna be karaoke because my mic works, but not the stereo, you know, it's like. But I got it to work, thank God. Would have been an ugly karaoke.
Chuck, opening up the trail, is that a problem for you as far as opening that gate up and closing it back?
No, they actually, and they did a great job of cleaning up after themselves too, and stuff like that, Jim just took care of. And we'll just leave some codes down there right by where the people walk.
Yeah, the cones should be
Yeah.
sufficient.
Yeah, no, that won't be an
I'm
issue.
not worried about the classic cars driving down the trail. Those guys aren't doing that with their
No,
classic cars.
just sometimes, we've had problems with some elderly people, like get confused when they drive down through there. That's why we keep it closed all the time, but
Yeah.
when he's in there, he'll have people in there so they can't, so they'll be fine.
And if I want to do something else, I'd come back in, you know, I've done drive-in movies and, you know, with chairs out there with the big blown up.
It sounds like you don't really need much outside. You're going to be setting things up. You understand that there's no real enforcement here, in essence, so. And
I just want to be able
to do that.
put my signs off and block it, you know, so they aren't driving through the car show. You know, I get it that if somebody parks their Blazer here or pickup truck, you know, they're gonna leave, you know, it's like when they're ready to leave, I get it, but, you know, I'd like to have where I put my diner signs up during the car show at 4 o'clock, so there's not people driving through.
Through traffic.
I mean, the other.
Somebody drove through tonight, and I don't know if they were mad at me because I was standing out there and I wasn't paying attention. I was like, whoa.
You said you haven't talked.
Maybe it was the red shirt, I was a target, you know, it's like.
Jim, you haven't talked to their businesses yet, though?
I haven't.
San Miguel's and.
I haven't. Once I knew this was going on, and one of them's irate, you know, I'm not gonna walk in that place, so the other one I would.
Ones that are ready already, you're saying?
No, that's.
No, he was last time, you know, when I get F-bomb, it's time to leave, you know?
Well, yes.
I'm not
Everybody
putting
at
up with
the
that
car
for
shows
anybody.
were going, using the restrooms in that facility, apparently.
Yeah, I know who it was.
Do you, speaking of which, do you have Porta-John
The
out
diner.
there?
No, we just told them to go to the diner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we need to approve What do we need to do? You, the mayor.
Well, this was just a little different because of, normally Jody just approves the parks things, because this was a lecture we brought to the board, so as long as everybody's happy with it, we can have Jody sign it again.
I think theoretically it's been approved. We were just backtracking and making sure that we had a grip on what they were doing, so that when somebody does call us or complain to us, we can talk civilly and say, this is what the plan is, talk to Jim and I think you can work it out. So I don't know that we need to do anything tonight other than say, just behave yourself.
Behave yourself, Jim.
Take it easy on the microphone.
I always behave myself.
We'll come and find you.
I might have a couple of signs and a couple of cones, but.
Okay. Are you good?
Yep.
You need anything else from us?
No, I can put signs up at 4 o'clock to block off the inside L. There's gonna be cars in there. I'm not calling any tow truck. I'm not calling the chief. It is what it is, you know, I'm not there to argue with anybody.
You let people
And I will go see the Sandman gal, I don't know them, but I won't go see the other one. But if somebody wants to tell him, somebody knows him, and he's welcome to be a part of it, you know, but I'm not going in there because of what happened last time. But I've seen him in Village Ace, and I don't have any problem talking to him and that, but, you know, I'm not gonna ask him to be a part of something that he was pretty rude about. But anyone's welcome to come.
We're
Be a part of it.
I was gonna say, half the Fridays of the month, or Thursdays of the month, we're here.
Yeah, right.
In the future, though, in another year, would a Monday night be something you'd consider? Or is Monday somewhere else packed?
I hate to say this out loud right now, right? But right now, with everybody closed on Monday, we're hammered on Monday. You know, so I wouldn't want to do an event on Monday because everybody else is closed, you know?
Yeah, lots of parking.
I don't want to tell everybody that, you know? It's like, I'd love to throw a closed on Monday, but, you know, but I might, you know, I'd have to talk to Dan about it, you know? Dan is the future of the Beeville Diner, you know? That's why he was on the application. And, you know, Jim Orlando was going to retire and move on down the road one day, but my house is for sale, but I'm not leaving Beeville. We bought one in Timberbanks. And I brought back a red golf cart so I could, you know, drive around.
Make it to town.
In Florida, they're white golf carts. The PGA village that I live in, you gotta have white. So when I was driving the red one around the PGA village, I was like, you can't have that cart. I'm going to Timberbanks.
Just follow the camera and look at the.
All right.
Very good.
All set? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice seeing everyone.
Yeah.
And I wear the red shirt at the car show. It's not like I go around all the time. See you, Mark. Sorry if I got you.
Are there other citizens who would like to make comment, address the board?
Hello, everyone. Bob Scherfling, 49 West Chelsea Street. I own the property due west of Mercer Park. And I saw in the newspaper today that there's a comment that you guys had to go and paint
Oh, God.
all of the tables again. So this is an issue that, I don't know, Mayor and Police Chief, I brought up to you guys over a year ago in an email, and I had some suggestions on how to maybe make this better. One of them was to turn the lights on more, because living next door, there are people in that park at all hours doing all kinds of things. Okay, I live there, I know it. So again, I would request that the lights are turned on, and I will again offer up, as I did a year and a half ago, $1,000 to buy a camera that will go on to the park. In fact, $1,500 if that helps. Over the years, we've had all sorts of stuff go on with my property because of that park. And recently, end of last summer, the shingles are still pulled off of that pavilion that ended up in my yard where either of my kids could have gotten hurt with them. So, again, I would request the lights get turned on, and I will give you $1,500 to put a camera in that park. And hopefully it would help out painting all the graffiti. In fact, graffiti-wise, the bridges, the concrete next to the canal walk, the village sign that's across the road from Baker Insurance, the bridge that goes over 690, that's Van Buren Road, all those are tagged with very similar things that I would think that if we had one of the school resource officers kind of look at some notebooks and things, we could probably find out who this person is. So, a couple suggestions. Any questions?
No?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for thinking about us.
What hour, I'm
Appreciate it.
just curious, what hours are the lights on or off now?
They're on various times, even during the day, sometimes they're on, but the thing is, at nighttime, there's only like 1 out of the 4. It's very dark down there.
They go to, a lot of our lights, they cut in half or a little more than half for the night. Because the park's supposed to be closed.
Right.
And
That's Bobby about?
Not at all. Not at all.
We had
Light that place up.
Set on Elizabeth Street, some of the lights that
No.
on their property that were on all night.
No, doesn't bother me at all.
For you.
No. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Sally's not here this evening,
Uh-oh. Not an ATV.
so there are no other citizens to make
Really a
comments.
meeting if so is that?
Not in months.
No.
So moving on to trustees' comments. Trustee Eric.
I'll stay to the agenda tonight. I know other people will address everything that's going on, and Nate's got some
In the world of
things to
sports.
say in the world of sports, so I'll get into that.
The wide world of sports.
Whatever.
I will also wait for the sports update.
I'll just say I'm excited to be participating this weekend in the color run for the Ava Wood Scholarship in Ava's memory. I know that the event has already raised over $20,000, which I think is amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, I will note that I will not be at the next board meeting because I'll be out of town. Other than that,
Don't
I will
say that out loud.
stick to the agenda. Sorry, I didn't say it out loud.
Okay. I'm going to stick to the agenda and stifle the comments that I was going to make.
I'll go for it.
No. You're up, Ruth.
All right, just the agenda, thank you.
All right, Doug Logan with sports here. First off, I want to just, hope everybody had a good Memorial Weekend, and the parade was awesome. And as far as the sport thing around here, it's been kind of unreal as far as how well the Beeville sports teams have been doing in all seasons, really, to be honest with you, but especially in the spring right now. We have the boys lacrosse and girls lacrosse are section champs. Girls won the regional today against Corning, so they're on to the Final Four in the state. The girls softball won, I think it was their first ever section championship over Liverpool, which was a really good squad, and so that's really good. The girls crew, the juniors state champs. The girls crew, the novice 8, they're state champs, and track and field are also section champs, and so it's pretty awesome to have so many great athletes coming through Beeville at this point in time. I know sports.
The girls bowling team won the state
The
title.
girls bowling team, was that winner?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they won this, state, right, and everything, and it's it's pretty cool. So we tried our best in 04 when I was a senior and stuff. We did our best, but we didn't quite make it there. So it's nice to see Beeville's making it, pretty routinely in a lot of sports. So outside of that, I'll stick to the agenda. All right.
Over to you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Jim, I have a couple of things. We have in our possession a signed contract with the county for stage 5 of the Main Street improvement program. Make sure that Tim Gainey is aware of that, and because he'll have to shepherd the businesses through their improvements. But we've gotten money in all 5 stages, and I think it shows when you look at the businesses in our downtown area. It looks pretty spiffy. Senior ball for the high school is next Saturday, and the Parent-Teacher Association runs a after party in which they hope the bulk of the 400 kids will attend. It's an alcohol alcohol-free, drug-free presence. Sloan Delaney, attorneys on River Street, are kind of in charge of it. If anybody would like to make donations, they give away all kinds of prizes. They have raffles. This group is looking for gift cards, gift baskets, cash, whatever, and all night long to keep the kids there. I mean, they usually give away a couple laptops. One year they might even have had a used car. So it's pretty attractive to keep the kids enticed to be involved. So if anybody would like to contribute to that, it's 635-1591. That's Sloan Delaney. Remind people the next weekend is Seneca River Days. Friday night is the big party night. That's the bands, the fireworks, great night to go out and have a good time. And then Saturday is basically the family day, the games, the duck race, that type of stuff. It's a great weekend for our village. To me, it's always the start to summer, and nobody does it better than the Rotary. So, and I would just like to mention that I thought, again, when you're in the parade, you don't get to see much of the parade, but knowing who was there, I walked down Lock Street before the parade and saw a lot of the different people who were there. Had a nice talk with Brian McMahon, nice talk with Lysander and Van Buren people. It was a terrific turnout by people on the street watching. And our committee, which includes Ruth Seco, which includes Lieutenant Mike Lockwood, kind of led by Linda and Tom Ross, includes Marcia Lamoran from the BFW, the Commander Don Collette, Gary Brown, who MCs the whole event at the cemetery. He is just outstanding. I mean, he has such a passion for our veterans and those that we lost, and he runs the show, and it was a great night. The Schneiders were there talking about their son Kyle, who died in Afghanistan, and some of the different fundraising support systems that they've created under his name. It's just astonishing to realize how broad their base covers. So all in all, I think the parade committee did us very proud in Baldwinsville. I have not heard any complaints, except I did see a picture of somebody apparently trying to drive into the parade and didn't do too well with that. But again, the police department runs the show. I mean, they're at all the major intersections. They're moving things through. I know Mike Lockwood does a lot of work with that. And the DPW, I mentioned at the cemetery about how nice downtown looked, and I saw heads all over the place nodding. The flowers, the flags, the street clean, it's all DPW and Chuck's crew. It's a great team effort, and we put on another great parade, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who had anything to do with it. And that's all I have.
I had a quick question, if I could ask. The only thing I noticed with in the interaction between the police and the DPW was, I don't know if they had enough mic or were they talking walkie-talkies, or how did they communicate?
Well,
They were handing them off like they were hot potatoes.
Well, the police were, all we're concerned with is shutting the radio down, so they give us one radio, and then we talk on ours.
Oh.
So they give us one radio, either I have it or Danny has it, and then they tell us, close the roads, and we move our trucks and shut them off. So that's really our only
I
part of
wasn't
it.
sure, because it looked like it was going around. So.
Yeah, well, we had two different radios, because once somebody complained because the truck was running, so I shut the trucks off, so they couldn't hear their radio, so we had portables. But those were ours, but we had one from the police, and it works out well.
I wasn't sure if it was something you needed to get another one that they could use for you.
No, it worked out well. No, we're good. Thank you.
Moving on to department heads, so let's start with our attorney.
I just have one item I'd like to add to the agenda, the New York NYSERDA grant that we have, to discuss that, and then a resolution to authorize the acquisition of lights for areas that need them around the village. Other than that, I'll stick with the agenda.
Okay, I'm going to put that down as after we bunt the executive session thing down.
just want to let everyone know that we should have the application for the farmer's market tomorrow, tomorrow. They said they were going to be bringing it in with their insurance. They're hoping to start on June 13th. They're not sure yet, but that's the tentative date. And right now they have about 16 vendors lined up. So hopefully I can get that all straightened out tomorrow and we'll have more information. And that's all.
There's early strawberries by then. Mark.
I just have one thing, and that's that I begin jury duty on Monday morning next week, so my availability, you can try calling me, but you know how they are in jury duty, they don't let you really pick up the phone or anything or get out. So if I am not available, it should be slow that time of the week, and that's it. I'll stick to the agenda for the rest.
Okay, senior center.
Just a few things to let folks know about. Our summer entertainment series continues. The next concert will happen on Wednesday, June 14th at 11 a.m. Come on in and enjoy that and stay for lunch. Make a reservation first. Also, our yarn crew is having their second summer craft sale that went really well last year, and they're going to do it again on June 23rd. That starts at 10:15 and will go to probably 3 o'clock. So come on in for that. And on June 30th, the Upstate Mobile Mammography Van will be back at the Senior Center. You do have to have a reservation for that. The phone number is posted on the village website, and also if you need it, just give us a call and we'll give you that information. And that's it, unless anybody has any questions.
Moving to DPW.
All the parks are open. The fire department gave us a hand moving the docks over again. We had an issue with one of the boats. They got a different boat over there. Went fantastic. The kayaks are in, the docks are in, the bows are up. Everything is done for our summer. We're waiting for the kayak people to get a hold of us. Sometime in June, they're supposed to come and put that kayak thing in, and so we're kind of waiting for that down the community park. Canton Street, we're thrilled. We finally got that's later on the agenda about the alarms and the security for our water plants. And we do have some security there, but this is going to upgrade it tremendously, and we're using the ARPA money for that. That's fantastic. Took quite a while to get that straightened away. We finally got it done, and we hope we vote on it tonight. That'll really help us out for some of our remote places. We'll have cameras and security there for them. And thrilled to get that done, and it was great that we could. Actually, Mark started us on that one. But it was great to have that money for that. And geez, maybe if we got another $1,500, we can add to that for Mercer Park. So they've had 2-3 water breaks. They're on Downer Street yesterday. They're up by the water department today. There's another one down on Meadow. It's just every once in a while they just all seem to surface. So the water's they've been busy working on water breaks the last few days. Other than that, we are getting some traction on our fluoride grant. That's been going on for trying to get approvals for almost 6 months. When I was at training in Lake Placid last week, we got in touch with some of the state people that actually do the approvals, and once they found out we were tied out of Dogger County, and Sean Rush, which is the representative here for the health department of the county, they're thrilled with her, and we're hoping that's going to move along a little bit, so we want to go out to bid to get that Cat Street project done. So things are starting to move. It's just a lot of the grant stuff. It's just a lengthy process, and we get some of that going. That'd be just fantastic. But other than that, unless there's questions.
We'll move on to the police chief.
I just wanted to echo the mayor's comments about the Memorial Day Parade and the great job that Mike Lockwood did. Certainly appreciate the assistance of the DPW and Chuck. We try and do everything we can to keep people as safe as possible. They gather in the Four Corners and some of our more crowded areas there. There's no way of guaranteeing safety for everyone in such a long route. But certainly with the assistance of Chuck's people and the great planning that Mike Lockwood does, trying to coordinate everything, it's a big undertaking. We also have the Onondaga County Auxiliary Police to come and help us. Baldwinsville Fire Department, their fire police as well. So it's greatly appreciated, everyone chipping in to man traffic posts, because we have a lot of people working, but there's a lot of street cuts and curb cuts along that route there where cars can get into. So, but I thought it was a very successful year, had great weather, and other than that, unless there's questions, that's all I have, sir.
Hearing no questions, we'll move on to new business. We have a motion to approve the waivers of the open container law for the following creative concert events on Paper Mill Island, Friday, June 23rd, 2023, from 6 to 11, Saturday, July 1st, from 2023, from 6 to 11 p.m., Sunday, July 2nd, 2023, from 4 to 11 p.m., Friday, July 14th, 2023, from 6 to 11. Friday, September 8th, 2023, from 6 to 11 p.m. And Saturday, September 9th, 2023, from 6 to 11 p.m.
Moved.
Oh, second.
Any discussion?
Everything else is in order for, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the chief's all happy with this?
Yes.
You look, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Wonder what they want Sunday at 4 o'clock.
That's the 4th of July, the fireworks afterwards.
Oh,
I think they've got several bands, so they're starting early with the music.
okay. Moving on to item B, a motion to receive the bids for the access control, fire alarm, and security system upgrade project on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023 at 2 p.m.
Moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Gift and approval.
Yeah, well,
Next.
it's written down here.
Just chill out. You get the
Item
thing.
C. Could I have a discussion, possible motion to award the bid for the access control, fire alarm, and security system upgrade project to Burr Nationals Controls in the amount of $44,893 pending attorney review?
Perfect.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this company. Are they local?
I've worked with them a lot out in Beaver Lake.
Yeah, so they must
So,
be local. And how many bids did you get?
Which worked out for us, but they were quite surprised that there was only one bid. I guess they were talking to 3 different companies, but we only ended up getting one in by 2 o'clock.
And is that for this building?
Pardon me?
Is that for this building?
No.
No, this is all the water stuff.
Oh, okay.
Water,
All the
highway.
The DPW garage, the wells.
They've been working on it for a long time,
Nice.
and we've been having trouble getting people to bid it. They've extended it.
Protect our water sources.
I don't go say that out loud.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item D, a motion to approve budget modifications by the treasurer in document budget 2021-2022 adopted with the proposed EOY.
End of year.
End of year.
End of year.
End of year, what is the next word?
Close out, sorry.
Close out.
Close out.
Oh, close out.
It's Colosso out.
Yeah, that's right. What is this word, Pete? To the general water and sewer fund budgets for the fiscal year ending February 28th, 2022.
I'll make a motion.
I will second.
Any discussion? Comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item E, motion to approve the investment policy as proposed by the treasurer in document, is this VOB?
Village of Baldwinsville.
Oh, Village of Baldwinsville Investment Policy 2020, I don't know what the V there is either. V,
Version 2023-0601. Sorry, I come from the private sector.
version 2023-06.
Big flex by Mark. Right?
.01.pdf. It's like, okay. I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
The PDF is part of the title of this thing? It's not a PDF?
It's a PDF document, yeah. I guess I'm not supposed to attach things, right?
I have to attach them when I do the minutes.
Yeah, she attaches it to the minutes.
Yeah.
We distribute it to you, but
Okay.
I don't know how that works.
Did we receive this document? Because I don't remember seeing it.
We did.
Yeah.
I guess I'm special or not special.
I'll forward it to you. Okay.
It was in Joey's first email
Oh, was it Jody's email?
about the board meeting, the agenda. You have the agenda and a bunch of markisms on the
I
bottom.
have it now, thank you.
Okay. Do you want a minute to review it?
Sure.
It's longer than you thought.
Do you want a quick recap of some high points?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think the high points are to understand that it's required by the state, and we have not had one. So if the OSC had come in to audit us, they would have not looked favorably on that. The good news about that is we don't do any investing, so it would have been a small slap on the wrist, I think, instead of a big one, if we had been investing in the absence of a policy. The second thing is the state really limits what municipalities can invest in. They can't really put taxpayer funds at risk in any material way at all, short of like a bank failure or something like that. And even that is generally covered by the insurance fund and then collateralization, secondary collateralization of deposits that are there that banks are required to do with municipal funds. So what this allows us to do is utilize the very safe and secure instruments that are allowed by the state. Treasuries, they're backed by the full faith and security of the federal government, things like that, state government instruments. And also there is a fund out there called NY Class, which is used by many municipalities in upstate New York, including our school district and both towns. And many towns around the county. Onondaga County uses it. And it's not like, I think they dive into it completely, but it's another option that they have. So I think we yielded this month at our main bank 2.67% on our deposits there, which is not bad in the environment, but we can do better than that. The NY Class Fund uses the allowable instruments under New York state law, and they create like a fund with those, and they allow us to buy into that. And the general yield of that is probably a little short of 2 times what the bank could do for us, up to 2 times. So we might have done 4 to 4 and a quarter this past month with that. To put that in perspective, this month's interest at M&T Bank was like $13,000. So we could be realizing a significant uptick in interest for virtually no risk. That's the first thing. The second thing is, it really gives me, when you put that risk here and say we're not really at risk, the policy gives me the ability to move those funds between the bank and NY Class and another bank, our other bank. I do have to report to you, but the report can be after I've done it. And the reason was, we set it up initially that everything would have to go through the board. And I was told by 2 people who reviewed it, it's not going to be workable. Your board meets every 2 weeks. It just isn't going to be dynamic enough for you to be able to realize any gain. So I think what we set up is immediately required funds will be kept in the checking accounts, and that's just for checks that we've written that haven't cleared yet, and it's for payroll and other bills like that are ACH'd out of that account. The next tier, which is stuff that we might need for the month, like future payrolls, future bills, will be kept at the bank. And then longer term than that could be kept at, in this case, the NY Class Fund. And that would probably eliminate the need for any emergency movement of funds. Everything would be done in kind of a planned way. Right now, I reconcile the operating accounts almost daily and just move funds when we write checks or move funds when we have to cover payroll. And that's it. And basically keep those checking accounts net zero. So there's no excess funds in those checking accounts. It's also a fraud prevention thing, but that if somebody does ever gain access, there's no money in there for them to get.
So would our reserve accounts be those kinds of
The
things?
reserve accounts at this point would not be part of this. And really only because I haven't thought that far ahead about how we would move that around. But that could be a down the road thing that we could include those. And it does, the NY class does allow us to commingle funds, and we could designate, I think, that they're in separate funds for us. You know, like the water reserve and sewer reserve, general savings, things like that. So I think we'll walk before we run when it comes to it and see how it goes and how easy it is to move money around and the security of it. But I'm pretty confident that it's going to go well. And I think it gets that investment policy thing behind us, and then we can move on to a couple other ones that we got to do.
Any questions? You get a chance to?
I did. Okay. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Item F, discussion action regarding the NYSERDA grant in the purchase of energy efficient light bulbs.
Well, these are the tops of the lights itself.
Okay.
Light fixtures.
Light fixtures.
Okay.
Do you want me to explain it? I can go through them if you want.
And Mark's got that extra $5,000 now for you.
Do you want me to explain it again? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
That'll be the discussion, then.
Yeah. Niagara Mohawk had an incentive program a few years back where all their lights, they upgraded them all from like $2,500 in the village. We paid for that, and the cost savings was phenomenal. But it was very cheap to do that. We have their NYSERDA grant that we had $5,000 a year or so ago that we replaced all the bulbs on the island to LEDs, and there's a bunch of savings there. We just got another $10,000 grant from the NYSERDA outfit, and we have 50 that are ours that we have in different developments that have not been upgraded, and we can upgrade all of them for, I think it's like $15,000. So if we can come up with another $5,000, we will be able to get all of ours done. With the $10,000 from the grant, put some more money in towards it, and then ours will all be done. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for another $5,000.
The $10,000 is from the energy efficiency things that former Coast Officer Greg was working on. I don't know if you remember those things where we meet certain standards and get points and then eventually qualify.
Correct.
So that's what that $10,000 is from.
Correct.
So you need a motion authorizing you to spend some money.
To spend another $5,000 and we'll get all the village-owned lights done.
So if we authorize you to spend up to $15,000,
That should be
convert the...
And you're using the 10,000 from the grant?
You need that in the motion?
I would say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll contact them, we'll get their money and then put our money together and get the project done. 'Cause we're going to install them. The outfit that got the incentives for us, they wanted more money to install them. I said, no, we'll do that ourselves. So we have a bucket truck and then we'll go do those ourselves. So we'll save that part of it.
Anyone want to make a stab at it? Or Bob, did you write it down?
Yeah, I can get that. That would be just
Okay.
a motion to approve the receipt of the NYSERDA grant and expend the sum of, that would be totally $15,000.
Correct.
For the acquisition of additional
LED lights.
LED lights.
Upgrading the LED lights.
Upgrading the LED lights in various locations in the village.
Correct. The village-owned lights, these are the ones we own.
And those, who's going to be the, where do we get the lights?
We'll get them through the outfit that it's, they're called the Green Team. They work with Niagara Mohawk and nice sort of people, and we'll buy them through them.
Okay, so that's like similar to a state?
Correct.
Okay, so there's no bidding that's required?
No.
Okay, so that's fine.
Somebody make that motion.
I like that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion. Okay, carried. Moving on to item, whatever it is, G. Motion to go into executive session to discuss contractual matter.
Move.
Second.